Yo, what is up YouTube? Today we're going over my epics versus legendary guide over on Mobalytics. You can head over there anytime you want to check it out, but we'll be going over everything that the guide entails right here in this video. So something that I noticed in Borderlands 4 is that the DPS that shows in game isn't really a true DPS. It is an effective DPS, and even that is completely wrong. So the two weapons we'll be looking at here in this guide are the Exalted Seshima and the Exalted GMR. Now, when I found this GMR, something stood out to me. When I was looking at the numbers and I was looking at the DPS that they were showing, I realized that it wasn't actually giving us a true DPS. It was giving us a roundabout gist of what the effective DPS is. And as I looked at it even more, the numbers didn't add up at all. So I had to take a step back and do the math myself. And what I came to find is that the epic that I already had previously was already 10 times better than this legendary GMR I found. And I'll show you in this guide here on how to calculate your DPS, your effective DPS, and make the best decision for your Vault Hunter. So as we come over here, the difference between DPS and effective DPS is that DPS is a straightforward metric of your damage per hit and your hits multiplied by your hits per second. That'll give you your DPS. You don't take into effect any metrics of magazine size and reload speed. Okay, you don't take those in. That is your effective DPS. Now, as you can see here with the epic example, we'll show you how to step-by-step calculate the true DPS and your effective DPS. The main thing you want to focus on here is your effective DPS, as it does have more practical application into the game, but we will be showing you how off they are in their numbers in the game. Now, so step-by-step, your true DPS is damage per hit multiplied by hits per second. DPS is equal to damage per bullet per second. All right, so 1370 multiplied by 9.7 is a 13,289 true DPS. Now, to calculate your effective DPS, you have to figure out a couple things. So your damage per magazine, your time to fire, and your cycle time. So damage per magazine is damage per bullet multiplied by magazine size. Your time to fire is your magazine size divided by fire rate. And then your cycle time is your time to fire plus your reload time. Now, once you figure these out, you can now put it all together. So your effective DPS is damage per magazine divided by cycle time. So damage per magazine, 1370 times 30 equals 41,100. Time to fire is 30 divided by 9.7, which is a 3.0928. And your cycle time is a 3.0928 plus 1.9 is a 4.9928 seconds. So the effective DPS on this would be 41,100 divided by 3.0928, which gives you the 8,230 effective DPS. You can see how completely wrong it is in game just based on this alone. Now, we'll go ahead and go to our legendary. So the legendary is 2,845 damage times 4.3, which gives you a 12,233. See how big of a difference our effective DPS here is compared to legendary already. So to figure out our effective is 2.845 multiplied by 21 is 59,745. That's our damage per magazine. Time to fire is 21 divided by 4.3 is a 4.8837. Cycle time is 4.8337 and plus 1.9 is a 6.7837. So our effective DPS equals out to a 58,745 divided by 6.7837, which gives you 8,807. Still completely off. Now, as you look at these side-by-side comparisons, you can see that the effective DPS of our epic here is 8,230, while the effective DPS of our legendary is 8,800. Completely off. These two guns are actually on par with each other if you don't take into consideration their license parts or their ability, which the ability on the legendary is a joke. It equals out to be the same DPS and makes it feel bad to even aim it in the first place. So, as you can see here, you can see the complete difference between the in-game non-accurate numbers versus our calculated and accurate numbers. So The important thing here, the reason I left out the legendary effect and the license part, are to give both these weapons their fair shake. Now, with the exalted legendary GMR, has a joke of weapon effect, 100% more damage while aiming down sights, but decreases your fire rate by 50%, which equals out the damage output. While our purple exalted here has a Ripper's license part, which allows the gun to charge for a brief moment before firing fully auto. Now, this replaces the order charge burst, which would normally be on this assault rifle, but the GMR doesn't have that charge burst for some reason. So, I farmed the driller hole boss 1,373 times. I've actually done it more since I put this guide out, but I ended up getting the GMR to drop 472 times, a little bit more since then, but the weapon only drops with the standard no license, the Jacobs license accessory, the Hyperion license grip, and a combination of the two of the Jacobs plus the Hyperion. I got that drop about 10 to 15 times. And then I got a phosphane, not a pearl. So yeah. Now you'd be like, okay, so what is the point of this Ripper license part? Well, the Ripper license part is a really big factor into your overall build, and just how weapons work in general. So when taking into this Ripper license part, the Ripper brand enhancement with short circuit, after reloading in an empty magazine, guns with Ripper license part have a 30% chance to increase the next magazine's fire rate by plus 100%. Now, this is typically happens for me every like 2 to 3 magazines, if you're unlucky 3, but you end up getting 100% increased fire rate. This increases the effective DPS of our epic weapon here from 8,230 to 11,921, effectively 12,000 effective DPS, not actual DPS, but effective DPS, where the legendary only has a 576 more effective base effective DPS than our purple. So plus 100% is a 2 times multiplier, so 9.7 times 2 is a 19.4 fire rate. So then we have our cycle time, 1.5464 plus the 1.9 is a 3.4464. So it makes our effective DPS with the Ripper's license part and the enhancement 41,100 divided by 3.446, which gives us that 11,921. So in the end, our purple here actually has 3,690 more effective DPS than our legendary, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, not only is the DPS numbers wrong from the get-go, but the damage numbers do not change based on the gear you have on you. So you have to do all the math yourself. And it's really upsetting. We're in 2025 here, all right? You play Tom Clancy's The Division, it does the numbers for you. When you change your gloves or you change your boots or you change your vest, it changes and you get increases the DPS. It changes the values that are shown on your weapon. It's not that hard to do. And in the first place, they need to get their fucking numbers right to begin with. But this kind of stuff in the games really upsets me because your average player isn't looking to have to do crunch numbers all day long like I like to do. You know, that's why I play Path of Exile. That's why I play those types of games like World of Warcraft and all this stuff. It's because I inherently know that just because big numbers and green arrows don't mean it's a better gun. I like crunching numbers and figuring things out. But when it comes to a game like Borderlands, where it's supposed to be a couch co-op experience where you and your buddies run through, collect gear, and get stronger and play out your power fantasy, you shouldn't have to sit here and calculate your numbers. So yeah, just be wary if you are looking to min-max on your builds and figure out your actual damage here. You're going to need to actually calculate it because the game itself is telling you wrong numbers to begin with. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. If this helped you out and you feel the way I do, leave a like down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.